Hello everyone and welcome to my Sister Wives Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. This time, the focus was not on the ex-wife's smoldering animosity or Robyn's notorious tears, but on Kody Brown himself, the patriarch whose polygamy business had shattered in front of millions. Fans anticipated Kody to avoid accountability, as he has in prior tell-alls, delivering cryptic explanations, excuses, and an aggravating sense of denial. But what distinguished this tell-all was the indisputable truth that Kody Brown was compelled to collaborate, both by external and internal constraints, from which he could no longer escape. To understand why this tell-all felt like Kody's reckoning, consider the circumstances that led up to this unique occasion. Kody Brown's world has fallen apart in front of the public in recent years. His marriages to Christine, Janelle, and Mary have all failed, with each woman asserting her own power and facing him not only privately, but also on national television. Christine was the first to depart, and her decision triggered a domino effect. Fans rallied to her courage, prompting producers to shift the show's narrative arc from an idyllic picture of multiple marriage to a raw study of polygamy's underlying dysfunctions. By the time the tell-all arrived, there was no more fantasy to sustain. Instead, viewers saw the result of years of Kody avoiding unpleasant issues. But with rising public reaction and behind-the-scenes demands from TLC executives, he had run out of alternatives. TLC recognized the surge in fan sentiment, and made it plain that this would not be another softball interview in which Kody could grandstand or emotionally manipulate his way out of accountability. Ratings were on the line. The cultural tide about partnerships, patriarchal systems, and theological explanations for polygamy had shifted. Viewers desired candor, vulnerability, and simply an acknowledgement of guilt. The spouses themselves added fuel to the fire. Christine, now blissfully married to David Woolley, had nothing to lose. Janelle, emboldened by her independence and fan support, arrived prepared with receipts. Mary, long regarded as the emotionally neglected wife, has finally discovered her voice after years of humiliation. And Robyn, Kody's so-called favorite wife, was no longer the shield she had been. The dynamic evolved so abruptly that Kody found himself surrounded not only by irate ex-partners, but by a collective force of reckoning desperate to uncover the truth. What pressures prompted Kody to cooperate? First, there was a contractual commitment. According to sources close to the production, the Browns signed contracts requiring them to participate in the tell-alls, which is particularly significant given that the drama is the show's main lure. Refusing to fully participate may result in financial penalties or termination of the family's participation in future TLC initiatives. Kody couldn't afford to breach that contract because his financial status was heavily reliant on his participation in the show. Second, the emotional manipulation game finally turned against Kody. For years, Kody used guilt trips, passive-aggressive shaming, and other tactics to exert emotional control over his women. However, Christine, Janelle, and Mary were responsible for orchestrating the emotional environment in this tell-all. They revealed previously unknown stories, highlighted contradictions in Kody's narrative, and most crucially, supported one another. Whereas in previous seasons, Kody could pit them against one another to maintain power, now they stood together. Every time Kody sought to shift blame, Christine would calmly reprimand him, Janelle would reveal hidden truths, and Mary would highlight his hypocrisy. Kody, obviously flustered, understood live on set that the previous playbook was no longer effective. Furthermore, the tell-all host did not give up. Recognizing how prior tell-alls had allowed Kody to avoid responsibility, this interviewer took a far more assertive approach. Carefully worded inquiries pushed Kody into verbal corners, and follow-ups denied him the typical escape route of hazy theological reasoning. For perhaps the first time in Sister Wives history, Kody Brown was forced to admit whether he treated Robyn differently than the others, whether his refusal to see his children during the pandemic was a form of punishment, and whether his vision of polygamy was fatally flawed from the start. One of the most striking scenes occurred when Kody was confronted with footage from prior seasons being played back to him on TV. Scenes in which he disparaged Christine or gaslight Janelle were no longer memorable. They were right there, irrefutable, with his ex-wives glaring him down. forcing him to either defend his previous actions or accept his sins. When Kody sought to dismiss Christine's charges about his lack of intimacy, she responded with a full account of their final years together, replete with text messages and dates, leaving him clearly terrified. Public sentiment was also important. By the time this tell-all aired, social media had already turned against Kody. #Team Christine, #Justice for Janelle, and memes regarding Robin's permanent victim status appeared often on TikTok, Twitter, now X, and Instagram. Kody was facing not only his family's rage, but also the wrath of millions of viewers who had seen him prioritize one wife while emotionally dumping the others. Fan outrage established a sort of social contract that TLC, the interviewer, and even the wives themselves upheld while filming. There was an expectation of catharsis, and Kody couldn't avoid it without being cowardly. Perhaps the greatest irony of Kody's forced compliance was that it highlighted how much his polygamist ideal had always relied on control, concealment, and image manipulation. With those foundations gone, his excuses sounded hollow, his confidence vanished, and what emerged was a desperate patriarch clinging to a tale that no one believed anymore. Forced to participate, Kody Brown unintentionally revealed the vulnerability of his once meticulously manicured surroundings. In the aftermath, the tell-all accomplished what many fans had long wished for. Kody finally heard, unequivocally, how his actions had divided his family. While actual remorse is dubious, his participation under coercion represented a watershed moment in the series. Sister Wives had evolved from a depiction of unorthodox family life to a harsh, public reckoning with broken promises, unfulfilled duties, and the profound emotional cost of polygamy. With the franchise's future uncertain, and the family's internal connections more strained than ever, one thing is certain. Kody Brown has lost control of the narrative. And for the first time in the show's lengthy history, the voices of the women he had tried to stifle were heard louder, clearer, and truer than ever before. Sister Wives Season 19 has officially concluded with the tell-all section. The 4 one-on-one interviews revealed some fresh and alarming revelations regarding Kody Brown's relationship with his ex-wives. He had showed evidence of hate for them during the episode, continuously refuting charges, and refusing to answer some of Suki's questions. However, some viewers were perplexed by the tell-all finale as Kody displayed unexpected behavior. Continue reading to learn what occurred. One of Kody's most significant statements during Tell-All Part 4 was about his alleged goals for his family. The Sister Wives actor stated that he wants to build a household in which everyone works together. He made it plain that it was his primary goal, even after relocating his family to Flagstaff. Kody admitted that he lost faith after everything fell apart in Flagstaff. When asked if he is happy now, Kody said that he is living happily in his home, with Robin and their children. He also feels that he would remain happy as long as he does not listen to his ex-wives, who always blame him for everything. Kody was then asked if he was willing to undertake multiple marriage all over again, and he simply said, no. Some Sister Wives fans took to social media to analyze the stunning climax of Tell-All Part 4. After Suki and Kody's final goodbyes, the screen went black, but Kody could still be heard pleading, "Cut the cameras, please." This fueled conjecture that he was upset after being asked questions he didn't like and wanted it to end.